Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Jeff.
Everybody have a good Thanksgiving, I trust.
Too short.
Yes, sir.
Ready? And then we're going to paint it, and then we're going to put it right in.
All righty.
Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you, sir?
Good.
Mr. Chatsworth in the building. There he is. Okay. All right.
Good morning, Tyler.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
All right, team. Let's get it rolling here. So, okay, a few things I want to just kind of hit the ground running with. Number one, does anyone want to throw out a topic before I start diving into stuff? Does anyone have any quick questions on anything at all? Okay, I'm going to start with a few. Mr. Cypress, I sent you an instant message on your Google business profile, and I didn't get a response from you. And then Mr. Tustin, you responded back. The reason why it's important, guys, it's really, really simple. As Google continues to evolve, what you're going to realize is the Google Maps app is everything, right? So we have a lot of members throughout the country who it's really easy. If you click on Google Maps, you open it up, right? And if you click the little updates button, right, this is going to be, you know, where you, as a local guide, right, think about it. That's what the buyers and sellers want, right? But there's the messages tab. If you're responding and if we start communicating, you can call or text me anytime. Get in a habit, start texting me on the Google Maps app, because think about it. It's not that hard to figure out Google. It's just common sense. Are you a local, credible, live person, right? The way you guys go on Facebook and Instagram, just treat Google Maps just like that, right? I don't care if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, send me a message on Google Maps. And if I'm patting my daughters to bed and they're crying, I'll respond to you. So if you respond back and forth through that messaging app, it's super powerful, okay? Does anyone have any questions on that at all?
Yeah, Anthony, I think I have it. I don't think I have it connected, so I got to figure out how to turn it on.
Great question.
I never got anything. I haven't got anything.
Yeah, DLE Facebook group. We had one of the SEO guys posted an instruction guide on how to activate that chat box.
Okay.
It's right there for you.
And
Go ahead.
Hey, Anthony. I'll go now. I'm at my daughter's school, so sorry about the noise. But yeah, so I got your message. I wasn't aware of that chat. So I guess my question would be, if we can do that, you already answered it between each other. Like I can send messages to Tyler, to Evelyn, and to everyone throughout the group. We can even probably have like a community chat. So that way, would that help?
Genius thought. I actually asked Google if we could do a group chat. Like I would prefer if, I think the upgrade's coming, right? The second we get the knowledge, right now, they don't have a group chat feature, but it's coming. We're going to pull out of the DLE Facebook group and start a massive group chat on here, because it's just going to be pinging all of our SEO. For example, I did an experiment, right? One of our members, Mr. Laverne, you know, we started, 50 Gmail accounts, right? And just from a Gmail account, searching the updated list in the DLE Facebook group, the 100 keywords we're focused on, right? It's really simple, guys, because if someone clicks on your profile, your SEO goes up, right? If you get a review on your profile and you respond within an hour, your SEO shoots to the roof, because Google's like, hey, this guy's on it. He's running a fucking business and he's watching it, right? If I send you a message and you respond to me within an hour or two, Google's like, wow, he's on it. None of our competition is doing this. You see what I'm saying? So if just use common sense. Google, the more you use this app, right? I use it for directions. When I went to get Target pickup for my wife, I know where Target is, but screw it. I typed it into Google Maps. I'm going there, right? Go to Target. The drive-up lady comes to the car, and I ordered the Starbucks with it, did a selfie with the Mr. Claremont shirt, posted a review to the local Target. I got 5,000 views in 3 days, and the Google Maps notified me, right? So think about it. Google's like, wow, Mr. Claremont, the local guide, he just went to Target, and I did a selfie with the Mr. Claremont shirt. Now, 5,000 people in the area plus are going to be seeing the Mr. Claremont shirt drinking a selfie, and it took 2 seconds. And while I was there, I sent Mr. Tustin and Mr. Fresno a message while I was waiting for the pull-up, and then I did a couple follow-up calls with listing leads and set a listing appointment. So just play with the app. It's not rocket science. Here's another thing. You guys still with me? If you click the updates button, there's messages, notifications. There's a button that says following. It's just like Instagram. And it'll say, hey, I recommend you follow these people. Screw it. Just click follow on 100 of the recommendations, right? You just want to look alive. You guys feel me? Now, look, let's take it a step further, okay? A lot of these, people in the past are like, oh, let's run Google ads and this and that. Well, guess what? Let me remind you quickly, the click-through rate is 13 times higher than 2 types of paper ads. If you open up the Google Maps app, you could click on the far right business option. And remember how I told you guys, you click the share profile button to get the reviews, right? Remember that on the homepage?
Yeah.
Well, there's another option that says advertise, right? And then it'll lead you to download 2 options. You do the Google call, right? And you just focus on those keywords, or you do the paid for ads. What do you think these Google ad agencies do? They say, hey, give me $200 to $500 a month and I'll run Google ads for you. But it's so simple. They literally, in the Google Maps app, my 5-year-old daughter could do it. They give you step-by-step instructions on what to do and say. You already know in the DLE Facebook group the most highly searched keywords. That list of 1 through 100, number 1 is the most searched keyword. We verified it with Google product experts, ChatGPT, Bard, SEO, and the SEO team, and SEMrush. I cross-qualified it with 5 different organizations, okay? So if you get the coupon from Google and it says, hey, do you want to advertise and get a $500 free credit in all these massive Google ad agencies, you're your own ad agency, right? But the key is you want to be number 1 for all 100 of those keywords. And if you're consistently ranking number 1, following all those steps in the DLE book, and if you guys were at the last in-person mastermind, I hand gave you the most updated DLE book, right? You follow those instructions, and if you're ranking number 1 or in the top 3 for all 100 of those keywords in your city, I guarantee you, as a year goes by, that's going to equate to 30 to 40 potential listing appointments if you're there, right? But if you want to take it a step further, yeah, you can run Google ads through the pay-per-call or pay-per-click. But I warn you, because there's a lot of big fish in your city, and they'll outspend you. And it's a bidding system, right? So just be aware it's there, and it's all connected. Does that make sense? You guys all with me? Any questions on any of that? So what I encourage you to do is keep playing with the Google Maps app. It's not that complicated. You want to see how many, your metrics, it's all right there. How many views are you getting? The more views, interactions, and searches on the homepage you get, it's a numbers game and consistency, right? That is the key to generating, online listing leads through Google. And if you want to take it a step further, you can. It's really easy, and it's all right here on your phone, okay? With that being said, the key to dominating and being in the top 3 for all 100 of those keywords is consistent metadata infused photos and videos, right? And posting the content the network is giving you, right? That content's extremely valuable. But guess what, guys? Let's be real here. life happens. Okay. When you get 5 or 6 listings, like I just picked up 8 listings. Okay. Actually, I have another one coming up. When it hits January, I'm going to be busy rolling, right? Then guess what happens? Life happens. I have a wife, 3 daughters, and 2 dogs. All of that starts happening. Are you going to be able to stay consistent with posting, right? So just like I'm your print broker and I've negotiated against the print factories for you to get them down on the pricing for notepads and magazines, which is super crucial for print mail, right? Jeff and I have done the same. And for example, that little DLE book, right? The listing package and that home buyer seller guide, Jeff has a print contact in Arizona that can get him for $10 a pop. That's right, Mr. Fresno. That same book you're holding, it's the same book as your home buyer seller guide and listing package. And I'm gonna show you again how I leverage that on listing appointments to win every single time in a second here, okay? But I want to be clear. All of those points, right? Like we're a print broker, right? Getting them down the prices. We've done that in the SEO world, right? So the reason why if you look at Mr. Claremont, I have a VA consistently posting the content and photos. Shit, if I took it a step further like Mr. Chatsworth and started consistently posting metadata infused videos, it'd be game over. You would outrank everyone. But I don't even need to. Why? Because I've consistently been posting metadata infused photos and content. I've got the NAP consistency lined up. And when I launch my listings in the MLS with the metadata infusions, it's game over. But when I get all these listings and life happens, I can't consistently post, but the VA will do it for you. And they do it for $50 a pop, but it costs the network $10 to send them the money. It's well worth the money, right? But if you can consistently do it, more power to you. But if you're not going to consistently do it, you need a VA or someone that's going to do it for you. Make sense? And I'm going to have Jeff send you guys a message, right? Because going into 2024 is simple. If you have a VA, consistently posting for you and your NAP consistencies lined up, it's only a matter of time before you get to the top, right? But every city and every keyword has a different level of competitiveness to it. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Does anyone have any questions on that?
I do have a question on the messaging. Do we have to follow people before we can message them, or do we have to go to their profile in order to message?
You can message anyone, right? So, for example, you can click on any Google business profile, and if you look at it, it'll have the chat button. You can click chat and send them a direct message, just like Instagram, right?
Okay.
And so like, for example, here's what I'm going to do. You guys want to know what Mr. Claremont's going to do? You guys want to know how I'm just going to dominate this here, right? I'm literally going to do it. I am going to go to my sign writer guy, the guy that puts my signs in the yard. The same guy. Okay, the sign writer program is powerful. If you're not doing it, shit, I got a call last night because I leveraged my short code on Instagram. I don't give any information. And some lady texted the short code. I'm like, how'd you find me? I got it to my phone because on my Instagram, I put, for exclusive access to upcoming listings, text Claremont 1 to 88,000. She goes, oh, I was on Instagram and I text the short code. Got her number, right? You better be leveraging that. But my sign guy, for example, I just listed one for 1.2 million a block west of me, right? I door knocked the neighborhood. Guess what I did? I went to there's a street called Baseline, heavy traffic, right? And I went to the homes that are on the most busy streets in Claremont, okay? All these homeowners are these old people. And I said, hey, you know what? I showed them my iPhone. I'm like, you see that? My 3 beautiful daughters there? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, look, every home I sell in Claremont, I donate money to my girls' schools. And it keeps the community going. It's a way for me to really give back. Have you heard of Mr. Claremont before? I just listed your neighbor's house. I just wanted to, update you on stuff. They're like, oh, no. That's great. Yeah, I've heard of you. And, you're the local real estate guy. And I'm like, yeah, and I love giving back to the community. And I was just wondering if you'd be willing to support me if I could leave I love Mr. Claremont sign in your yard. And it would really help grow my business, because when people Google it, my Google business profile comes up and I get more business. I'm able to give back more to the community. Would you mind if I put my yard sign out there? They don't give a shit. They really don't. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm taking a list, right, as I'm out there door knocking, of the people that were nice and I had a good conversation with. And I'm just going to go print up the little signs like this that says, I, red heart, Mr. Claremont. And before you know it, imagine having 100 of those up in your city. It's equivalent to having a listing sign up year round, 24/7, 365, right? And I'm going to start deploying those. Then I'm going to go back to those same people that are supporting my signs and say, hey, look, I really appreciate the support you've done. I actually donated, $300 to my daughter's field trip. And then, by the way, it's like random people. I will text them my Mr. Claremont Google business profile link and collect a review. You got to go hard. You got to be guerrilla warfare style. Same with the magazine. I'm going to go to the local businesses I know, and I'm going to say, I'm going to get you a free ad in the bulletin, right? I'm going to get you a whole page ad, because the difference between 8 pages and 16 pages is cheap. And imagine doing a full page ad for a local business and bartering and saying, I just want my I Heart Mr. Claremont sign there. It's like having billboards everywhere, and you will dominate your city quickly. It's a fact, okay? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to consistently, organically rank high for my Google business profile for all 100 keywords. I am going to print the Claremont Bulletin, and I'm going to mail it out. And for every single one of my listings, I'm going to do just listed, door knock it. I'm going to do a door knock, invite them to the open house, and I'm going to do a just sold. And every person that was a little bit old or weird, or I had a good conversation with, that I know wouldn't care if I stuck my sign out there and there's some visibility, I'm going to write down their name and address and have a social cause for putting I Heart Mr. Claremont. Is donating to support my 3 cute daughters I show them on my cell phone. That's what I'm going to do. And before you know it, I'm going to have like 100 billboards up throughout the city. And I'm always going to keep fiddling around with the Google Maps app, because the more I play with it and the more we communicate, it's massive for SEO. Does that make sense? And then guess what I'm going to do? When I get my listings, I'm going to put my sign writer up, and I'm only going to launch the best 3 photos. Then I'm going to have open houses. And if they want the virtual tours, they have to text the short code. That's the check-in system. Rank high on Google, print mail, leverage the sign writers, open houses, that's it. And I guarantee you, I will get 30 to 40 listings, and I'll double in half, and I'll have so much business I don't know what to do with it, okay? The key is, though, when this happens, when I get all the listings and I have to be a husband and a father, I get busy. So when that happens, I know I can call the print company and have them print and mail and fire it off for me. When I get busy and life happens, I know the little VA is consistently posting for me. Because as a real estate agent, I have to get listing photos, right? And I have to write descriptions for it. We already have the content, but it's like a machine. It keeps going. So it's not rocket science. It's a numbers game and consistency. And whatever you do with your designation, leverage it to what's going to cause you to consistently have at least 20 conversations about real estate in your city. Are you guys with me? Yeah, you guys with me? Now, guess what, everyone? The print products are extremely powerful, okay? I just won this listing on the one I told you, a block over at 1.2 million. It was a lady. She was 68 years old, highly intelligent, wealth management lady. She interviewed 5 agents, and she goes, well, it was a combination of things, Mr. Claremont. She goes, I did see you on Google when I searched for agents, but then when I got your mailer in the mail, your little notepad there, I held on to it, And she goes, I actually lost your notepad in the mail, but when I re-Googled Mr. Claremont, boom, your number was right there. I got the call. The reason why she went with me is this. Do you guys still have that package I mailed to you, right? The original one with the listing, right? It's extremely powerful because when you go on a listing appointment, right, it's all about sleight of hand, okay? And if you don't think you're a professional actor, you're wrong. Because what you do as a real estate agent, let's be real, everyone, 98% of them are going on a listing appointment, and what are we doing? Trying to price it right, stick it to the MLS, take some photos, and you sit back. You put your sign in the yard. Does anyone disagree with that, that's 98% of what listing agents are doing? If you disagree, speak up now. Let's talk about it. So if that's a straight fact, then it's a fact that it's a perceptions reality business, and you have to create something that separates you from the herd and give the homeowner one thing. I can trust this person. They're local, going to give me top dollar. What do you think all of this does? The magazine, the home buyer seller guide, and this, right? Because when I go on that listing appointment and all I do in this book is I open it up to page 13. What is on page 13? The 100% withdrawal guarantee. Guess what? It's tangible. Hold it. No one's going to read this book. It looks great. But look, when you open it up to here and you leave it here, when I take the Claremont Bulletin and I open it up to the home sold map, look at that. And I leave this on the coffee table, and right next to it, I fold it like this, next to the 100% withdrawal. Look at the homes I've sold, and it's all performance-based, right? What does that mean? I leave that on the table, okay? And then I get the metal business card and I bookmark it and I slide it in front of them, right? And I say, look, Bob, Mary, by the way, here's a home buyer seller guide. You're going to have a lot of questions. This is going to answer and address it for you. After I do that, do you know how powerful the iPad is, folks? Literally, pen to paper is intimidating. Put your listing contract in a PDF expert. Why? It's like a video game. It doesn't seem real. When they see a combination of it's performance-based withdrawal guarantee. It doesn't say cancel, okay? When you show them all your homes sold and they could actually hold it and see it, not on the internet, something they could hold in their hand, just like real estate, okay? And then when I open the iPad, the first thing I do is show them my database of everyone that texts the short code. So it's like, Bob, Mary, it's performance-based. Look right here. Yes, I've sold hundreds of homes in Claremont, and I'm not a broker managing an office. I'm not the luxury agent up the hill. I only work Claremont. I only work the 800 to 1.4 million price range. Myself and my team, there's no individual human being that'll sell your home for the most money, most favorable terms, and quickest time frames, okay? But guess what, Bob, Mary? I want to get the ball rolling for you because I have right now in Claremont over 600 plus buyers that have subscribed to my website looking to buy a home. What have I just done here? I've showed them everything. What does the homeowner want? A local, credible person that's trustworthy, that's going to get them top dollar. Hey, Bob, Mary, the sale of your home directly affects the equity in my home. I'm personally vested. Whether you go with me or not, that's fine. But I'm personally vested here in the neighborhood, and my home is my largest financial asset. And usually 98% of the time, it is for my clients here in Claremont. Then they say, yeah, actually it is. And I'm like, I'm very sensitive to this. And I'm an expert at marketing and selling the Claremont lifestyle. You see, I was selected by the DLE because I only work Claremont, and myself and my team, we sell homes in Claremont, anywhere, we have a track record here. I pushed the magazine again, okay? For selling homes anywhere from 20 to 30, some of them 300 grand I've sold above the appraised value. And I have the performance-based guarantee right here. Now listen, Bob, Mary, they're looking at all the print products. They're holding it. Let me show you this. When you have PDF Expert on an iPad, it is legally binding. When you have a listing contract and they sign electronically, it's the same as pen to paper. You got it. Does that make sense, everyone? How do you secure and lock it in? It's by a signature. You take a picture on of your iPhone on the exterior of the home. You launch it in the MLS as coming soon. But guess what, everyone? If you get it all signed and you don't submit it to the MLS as coming soon and another agent comes in and gets it signed and they submit it to the MLS first, they have the rights to the listing. Did you know that? Yeah, that's a hard fact, right? So your job is to give this big song and dance to get them to sign the listing agreement. And then guess what? You got to get it priced right. So what do I say? I'll show you what I say. So I got a go ahead.
Can you repeat what you just said about the signing? If
Oh, yeah,
you
great
sign,
question.
yeah.
I've had this happen before. You get a listing contract signed, and let's just say you hold the paperwork and you're like, yes, I got it. Woo! Then Bob with EXP comes in and goes, oh, Miss Mission Viejo, total crook. Don't work with her. He gets it signed, but then he immediately puts it in the MLS's hold and takes a picture with his iPhone. He legally has the right to the listing. You don't, because he inputted it to the MLS first. So just remember that. It's very important. And then if you go to the board and your broker and you start bitching, hey, I got the listing contract signed first, doesn't matter. You will lose in court in small claims.
Really?
That's the rules to the game. Correct. Yes. And guess what? If the seller comes at you, hey, you got the withdrawal guarantee. Well, you signed a year-long listing contract. Sure, we'll withdraw it. Huge difference between withdraw and cancel. You guys with me? But I don't suggest you work with someone that doesn't want to work with you because it'll drain your energy. You with me? So let's repeat. When I'm on the listing appointment, right? And I got the listing contract right here. Do you guys see that? There it is. It's not as real because when I'm talking to them, it's like this. Look, Bob, Barry, it's simple. I have my hands right here. The list price is a marketing number. That's just to draw them in. The only time it gets real is when we get an offer on the table and we sign an open escrow. That's it. All of this doesn't mean anything. It's all marketing. So, Bob, your home is worth $1.2 million, okay? We're going to go ahead and list it for $1.1 million, and we're not going to accept an offer under 1.2. And my goal is to sell it for 1.3. As you can see here, Bob, looking at the magazine, I'm on 100% withdrawal performance space. I've had the privilege to help hundreds of Claremont homeowners just like you recently. Same thing as the commission, Bob. Look, I want you to be dollar smart versus penny smart. If you list it at the correct price and you go at a solid 6% commission, that's going to give me the marketing resources I need to sell it for the most money and most favorable terms. Here. Then I say, look, Bob, then I stop. Then you got to shut up for a second and let them digest. Then I look at them, okay? This is no different than dating. This is a complete stranger, right? I say, Bob, and I look him in the eyes. And then usually they look down at the designation, Mr. Claremont. Then they look me in the eyes again. I say, are you comfortable allowing myself and my team to represent you as your realtor? And then as I look them in the eyes, they look at the logo, I put my hand up like this. And they shake the hand. And they shake the fucking hand and it's over. Then wait a minute, right? Then I'm like, now listen, Bob, I'm so humbled that you're placing your confidence and trust in me to be your agent. Now listen, I'm so excited, Bob, because I want to start pre-marketing your home so I can get that bidding war going. As you can see here, I pull up the iPad again. What am I showing him on the iPad? All the list of buyers who subscribe to Textedly. So then I'll pull my short code, right? I pull it up and I'm like, look, I have all these buyers right here ready to go. And guess what else, Bob? Claremont Bulletin. I want to get a half-page ad in the Claremont Bulletin and go ahead and launch that to everyone in the city. It goes out quarterly and it's coming up, okay? And I want to start coordinating. Now, to get this going, Bob, then I move the Claremont Bulletin aside. This is all performance-based, Bob. So at any time, if you no longer want to sell, I hit withdraw, and it's like I was never here, okay? I just need an electronic signature to have your permission to represent you. Then I slide the iPad, I hit PDF again, and I go like this. They're looking at it, and I say, and I scroll down. I'm like, yeah, this is just a permission slip allowing me to represent you. And then guess what I do? I zoom in, boom. Then I hit this, hit the signature button, sign. So what did I just do? The handshake psychologically, he shook my hand. He looked at the designation, looks at the magazine, and it's an e-signature. It's fun. It's not real, but it's so real, okay? Then I say, Bob, you know, when we close escrow, the file's going to be about 4 inches thick. But for this permission slip, so I can get the ball rolling, we're going to list your home at 1.1. We're going to sign it up at 6% commission, and I'm going to get the process started, okay? Then you scroll to the next page, and he signs the first 13 pages you need. And then guess what I do? Then I'm like, boom. Then once again, when he signs everything, I hit right here, and I'm like, boom, I hit this, dark. Then I put the iPad down, and I look at him. I say, Bob, Mary, again, I'm so honored you placed your trust in me. I'm really going to take good care of your family, and I'm going to start the pre-marketing platform. Everything I listed in this book, this listing package, is what I'm going to start working on today. They're not going to read it. And if they do, great. Ask me any question you want. They're only going to look at the withdrawal. They're like, shit, I'm going to get in a magazine. And he's going to start talking to all these buyers. Bob, now listen, when I walk out, I need you to move the car in the driveway. I need to get a quick picture on my iPhone so I can let all of my brokers in the area know, all of my buyers know that your home is coming soon, and start that anticipation and start ramping it up. Because when I have the open house, I'm going to hit a home run, and it's going to be like an event, okay? And what I'm going to do is sell your home for the most money, quickest time frames, and most favorable terms. And at any time, if circumstances change, I withdraw and we're gone. Then I take a picture of my iPhone, go home, boom, stick it in the MLS, hold coming soon. Then I go to all the buyers that text the short code. I tell them, boom, coming soon, and I gear up. You guys with me? But those print products, it's fucking power. Because guess what? Oh, this recent one I just went on, I told you at the mastermind, she goes, well, I heard we don't have to pay a buyer's agent commission. I'm like, that's right. I highly suggest you leverage it like this. Remember, it's us versus everyone, okay? You are in competition against every real estate agent on earth. The second you get the listing signed the way I just showed you at 6% and for the right price, it's all about how you talk to them, okay? Then every agent in California works for you. That's how it works, okay? I just got one signed, 1659 Akron Place. It's worth $900,000. She goes, oh, well, I heard you don't have to pay a buyer's agent commission. I'm like, that's right. She interviewed 3 agents. I said to her, what we do is we click the dual variable compensation, and we put in the MLS that buyer's agents could submit what's called the BAC form, buyer agent commission form. I want the buyer's agents to negotiate against their own buyer and have them make us an unbelievable offer we can't refuse. And if it's good enough, we'll consider paying them a commission. But if the offer sucks, then no. And then she goes, okay. She goes, that makes sense. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, so what we're going to do is list your home for $78,888, and we're going to list it at 6% commission. I want you to be dollar smart versus penny smart. Gave him the same speech. and got the listing. It's worth 900. I'm listing it at 788,888. I told her we're not taking any offers below 9, and my commission 6%. Buyer's agent commission's $2. And in the description, I said buyer's agents and caps, submit a BAC form. Seller request, if you want to get paid a commission, just submit your offer with the buyer agent commission, write whatever number you want. Write 2.5%, write 4%. But then guess what? Let's say the seller doesn't want to sign after I gave him this big speech. Okay? I leave him with all the print products. Then you push hard on what? The withdrawal guarantee, right? You set up booby traps for the other agents. You guys with me? Can you still hear me? The booby traps are simple. Oh, if they don't disclose to you, because if the next agent goes on the listing appointment and I push the performance-based withdrawal guarantee hard, here's what I say. Oh, if they list your home for $900,000, Bob and Mary, and they bring you an offer at $900,000, and they don't give you that 100% performance-based withdrawal guarantee, you still own the commission. The most crooked agents in the industry do not give an upfront withdrawal guarantee. Why? Because that means if anything happens in life, Bob and Mary, because life happens, maybe you no longer want to sell. But if your agent, Henry with EXP and Jill with KW brings you an offer at 900 and you no longer want to sell, you owe them that commission. So the most sneaky agents in the industry, just so you know, Bob and Mary, my job is to educate you. Remember, Bob, the sale of your home affects the equity of mine. I need you to do well. I got 3 daughters to feed, and I'll show them the picture on my iPhone again. They start laughing, right? Bob, number 2, you no longer have to pay a buyer agent commission. So if they're pushing you to pay 2.5% commission to the buyer's agents, good God, Bob, why are they? Let me ask you a question, Bob. He goes, oh, what's that? Bob, how long have you been making this mortgage payment? I forget your name. Is it Andy, or just call me Mr. Claremont? It's easy to remember. They start laughing again. Well, I've been making my mortgage payment for 20 years. And you've been working your whole life to build this equity up. And you're telling me, Bob, that you want to pay 2.5% commission to a real estate agent to negotiate against you? Does that make any sense? And then I'll pull up and I'll be like, I'm going to email you the article on NAR. You no longer have to do it. And if another real estate agent is telling you to pay another agent to negotiate against you, it's unethical. Okay? It doesn't make any sense. So there's 2 very powerful booby traps. And if Evelyn goes on the listing appointment against Mr. Claremont, she's going to get slaughtered. Think about it. Because why? I'm like, Bob, I only work Claremont. I only do listings in this price range. I don't touch any other city. I'm not a broker managing an office. I don't do luxury, withdrawal guarantee, and leverage the NAR lawsuit to your favor to set up a booby trap. Does that make sense? And when I leave all the print products in the metal business card, and when I pull out the metal business card, I say, Bob, I only take 4 clients at a time. Only 4 listings in Claremont. I truly believe you and I are a good match. And I felt like this interview went great. So if you have any questions, I am comfortable to work with you. Now I flipped the script. I've been interviewing him, and I set up 3 booby traps, slide the metal business card, close the book, and leave it, walk away. They talk to 3 or 4 other agents, and I always get the call. Does that make sense? That's the greatest power of your designation in your city. Are you guys with me? That is the greatest power on the listing appointment. And I'm telling you, I go against the best in the world. Go ahead and look it up. Nick Abadesta, Laura Dandoy. We all carry the bullshit Remax balloon. No one cares. And I win every single time. And they are literally number 1, 2, and 3 in the entire world for Remax. Look them up. Nick Evanes is number 2 nationwide. I've gone on 3 listing appointments against him and won every time. in Claremont. I don't know how I do outside my geo farm, right? But I don't care. So I'm telling you guys, the power of the print products is extremely important. And guess what? Jeff can get you these for $10 a pop. This is your nuclear bomb, because it's just like when you get that call to go on the listing, you got one shot. You have one opportunity. You should play that song by Eminem. You guys feel me? Mr. Huntington Beach, what's that song by Eminem? You only got one shot. You know what I'm talking about? You should bump that in your earphones. So if you only got one shot, you better have a metal business card. You better have that listing package. And shit, if you're not doing the magazine, do what Mr. Fresno did. Get a couple samples. That's your fucking resume. It's gold. And when you go on that listing appointment and you talk to him the way I'm talking to you right now, you're going to win. You guys with me? Does anyone have any questions on that? Because at the core of this product, what I'm trying to tell you, yeah, the SEO, the branding, it's the mindset with the affirmations. And it's leveraging the print products on the listing appointment to win. I can't be any more clear. That is the core power of what you get with DLE. It's extremely powerful. It's the most powerful brand in the world, because I get listings signed at the right price. I get them signed at 6%, sometimes 5%, normally 6%. And I leverage the brand for indirect marketing to leverage the listings to suck up all the buyer and seller leads and keep it rolling. You guys with me? Does anyone have any questions on that right now?
Do you have any listing right now that you're offering $2 to the buyer's agent with the
Yeah,
private?
I'll text them to you. Let me pull it up.
How is that working out? With showing.
Great. I have an open house. They all come in. The buyer's agents start bitching. It's only 2.5%. Hey, it's not my home. The seller said you could offer a BAC for him. Come on in. And then when their buyer comes to my open house because Zillow boy is sitting at home paying 10 grand a month for his Zillow leads or doing the Zillow Flex program, I say, by the way, Mike, the buyer, you write the offer with me because I clicked the dual variable compensation in the MLS, right? I can pay the buyer's agent commission to you and direct it towards your closing costs. I can actually legally disclose to you where the other offers are at so you can win. Because guess what, Miss Mission Viejo? I get the listings priced right. I don't need anyone. It's called Zillow, truly. It's called the internet. It syndicates. All the buyers, I don't give a damn if they're on Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, on a bullshit website. If you click the button in the MLS open house, they all get notified. And guess where they're going? Woo! To you. You don't need them. And then when they go through the home and you sell them on it, and then you say, hey, look, yeah, here's the comps. I hand them the Claremont Bulletin. Oh, you want the virtual flyer? Text this short code. Text Claremont 188,000. Boom, I got their number. I'll text them the comps. Hey, Bob, this home's worth 1.2. We had like 100 people at the open house. By the way, we offer a special program at RE/MAX. It's called the dual variable compensation. We can pay you the buyer's agent commission. I can show you where to come in at to win the property. They don't know how many offers are on the table. Let's say it's worth 1.2. It's listed at 1.1. I get flooded with buyers at the open house, right? They all text the short code because they want the virtual tour and they love it. Some of them pull out their iPhone and try doing videos. I say, no. The seller doesn't want that for security reasons. You need to check in. You need to hit the short code. And if you don't, then go ahead. The door's right there. Walk out. I'm protecting my client's home. It's their asset. And if you're not serious enough to text the short code, well, then you're not going to be a fucking buyer of the home. So get out of here. We only want serious buyers in here. They're like, oh, shit. Yeah, they get taken back. I don't care. It only takes one buyer to sell the home. And when you click the dual variable compensation, you click open house, and it's priced right, it's over. Woo! And if you launch 3 of the best photos and you describe it in the MLS, what the hell do you think they're going to do? They're like, shit, reading the description, Claremont's best neighborhood. Whoa, 200,000 worth of upgrades. Boom, 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 boom. I can only see the exterior. Shit, look at that kitchen. I only got 1 photo. Oh my God, look at the backyard, the twilight shot. Look at the sparkly pool. Where's the rest of the photos? Oh my God. They're going to drive by. They're going to see Mr. Claremont logo. They're like, what is that? Oh, that sounds familiar. I'm trying to buy in Claremont. I think I've heard of that. Oh, text Claremont 1 to 88,000 for info and pics not found online. Shit, I'm going to text it. Then they see the Anthony Grimshaw with Remax sign. They're like, oh my God, the salesman with Remax. Ooh. The saleswoman with EXP. I don't want to get hounded. I need the information. Then they text it. Now I'm competing against Zillow boy who's buying all the leads. I got the same buyer. Then I say, hey, oh, by the way, then you get the lead sent to your phone. Guess what, folks? Pick up the phone. I call them. Hey, it's Mr. Claremont. They know exactly who the fuck I am. They've seen 100 listings. They'll never forget Mr. Claremont. They're like, oh shit, I didn't even know that was a person. It's Mr. Claremont with Remax. The network notified me you're interested in my listing. Did you get the virtual tour? They're like, oh, we got sent your website. And I couldn't find the listing. Yeah, because I needed SEO. Woo! By the way, Bob, I just texted you the virtual tour of the website. Did you get it? Why don't you hit speaker on your iPhone? They're like, oh, go to your text message. There it is. Hey, guess what, Bob? If you write the offer with us, see, listen, Bob, you're not buying the home cash? Oh, that means you're having an appraisal, home inspection, termite inspection. Guess what I hand them? The fucking magazine. They look at it like, shit, Mr. Claremont's legit. He sold hundreds of homes. He's the man. They Google me. They're like, look at his reviews. Fuck my Zillow agent. He's right. It doesn't take a genius to buy a home. It just takes someone to do the paperwork. And I say, look, Mike, the buyer, I don't determine the value of the home. The seller doesn't. The appraiser determines the value. It's in your best interest to write the offer with us so we don't have to pay a buyer's agent commission. We can direct that towards your closing costs. Then I pull them away from their lender. Oh my God, your lender's charging 8%. I got a lender that could do it for 7%. And we'll direct commission towards the closing costs. Then when he signs the contract or an escrow, yeah, the commission's $2.05. But guess what, Bob and Mike, the buyer? Well, you beat out 7 other offers, and I flex the commission down so your offer could win. And they go, oh, that makes sense. Right. And then Bob, the Zillow agent, oh, you stole my client, blah, 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 blah. No, I didn't. What are you talking about? The network does all my marketing. I'm a member of DLE. I'm just the agent. What do you mean? You put it on someone else. But it's warfare. This is cutthroat of an industry as it gets. And the truth is, Bob, the Zillow agent, Zillow's taking your listing photos and content and selling it to your competition. You guys with me? Do you see how it all stacks? The print products are powerful on the open houses. I have a special magazine, a spot in the magazine with the short code. I hand it to them. It's my resume. Text the short code. I rip them away from their agent and double end it. It's actually in the best interest for the seller. Why? I don't want a professional negotiator getting in the mix. I want to get this buyer my talons and make them pay a premium. That's what I do. That's my job. You guys with me? So you adopt that mentality. It's a war over the local market share, and you dominate. But the print products on the listing appointment and how I just described to you when I do the open house is extremely powerful. Does anyone have any questions on that? This isn't a script. This is a conversation. You have the products. Don't overthink it. Just start talking like this and it'll happen. Does anyone have any questions? Go ahead and shoot. Okay, excellent. So speaking of, I strongly encourage you going into 2024. I can't stress it enough. Call Jeff. If you could only afford 5 magazines and 5, listing packages, Jeff could get this for $10. Call the print company, order some samples, and if you get 10 of these, it's powerful because when you do get that call, you better get the listing. You better get it. You better fight for it like your life's on the line because guess what it is? You don't need the buyer's agents. Every agent in the industry is your direct competition. Buyers are smart. They're not stupid. Why do you think it's so important for organic rankings? People are getting more intelligent as time passes. You can spend all your money on paid for ads through Google and Google Screen. They see the sponsored and ad, trust factor decreases. When you're organically in the top 3 and it's named Miss Mission Viejo and they're looking for that local expert, you're going to be considered for the call. Are you following the steps? Are you consistently posting? A lot of members try to do metadata infusions themselves. Don't do it. There's 5 key elements, right? Don't worry. If you have a problem with the VA on the back end not getting stuff to you on time, call Jeff or me. We'll write them for you. That's our job, okay? But there's 5 elements. They inject manually your website, the keyword real estate agent Mission Viejo, your phone number, your Google listing coordinates, longitude and latitude. That's a lot of manual work into each photo. And if you don't do all 5 of those every single time, it's not going to work, right? But the metadata infusions are most powerful when you launch them in the MLS. I mean, of course, look what we learned from Miss San Francisco. She does metadata infusions on Yelp, and she's leveraging the metadata infusion portal to rank higher on Yelp. It'll work. No one's doing it, right? But when you do it in the MLS, it's the most powerful because it's like you get, and remember, when you launch your listing, I only do 3 photos, 1 to 3. But when it's pending, I upload 75. I max it out because those are 75 Trojan horses that I know are going to be taken and dispersed to tens of thousands of real estate websites. And that's called a backlink. And it's going to point back to you. That's the most important part for metadata infusions. So don't overthink it. You guys with me? Because you need to be focused on what? It's really simple. Don't overthink it. Take action today. Get out there and have, it's a numbers game of consistency, 100 conversations. I'm going to have 100 billboards up in 2024. I can't wait till I show you guys those videos. All those people I meet door knocking that I have a good conversation with that aren't selling, I'm going to see if I can convince them to drop a review or leave my billboard up that'll be there 24/7, 365. Because you know what's going to happen? People are going to be like, I see your signs everywhere. They're going to confuse it for a listing sign. Like, yeah, I'm the top dog. That's it. You guys with me? So I know I went hard on my tangent, but it's really important for you to leverage the print products on that listing appointment and leverage everything in your favor. Don't be afraid of the NAR lawsuit. It's a blessing because when I go on the listing appointment and I set those booby traps, I win. That lady I just got signed for 1.2 million, the financial lady, interviewed 5 of them. She goes, you know, Anthony, I'm going to be honest. She's moving to this retirement community. She's like, this lady, you know, she's my age, Anthony. I have a lot in common with her. And I was like, that's great. Who would you rather look at for the next 2 months? The old lady or me? And she started laughing because she's divorced. She's older. She's in, you know, so I had fun with it. So you got to take this serious, but not too serious, right? So you got to go in there and you got to develop the rapport with the people and just be perceived as like a local, credible public figure they can trust. And that's it. But just ask yourself today, can you consistently post all that content the DLE network gives you and the pictures. And if you can't, Jeff, just like how he got this book, $10 a pop. I got the print company down again on the pricing. We got these SEO VA guys down substantially on the price. The industry standard, that little, it's $60 technically because it takes $10 to send out. That is a service in the SEO world. These people, these companies charge $400 to $600 a month for. So I just encourage you, whatever you do it consistently and go for the local listings. If you list, you last. Listings are leverage, right? It's how you build your brand and how you leverage it to acquire more listings and dominate your geo farm. And guess what, guys? Stop listening to the news. Go in your MLS right now and look in the year of 2023. Just click your city, single family, condo, and townhomes. How many homes sold in your city in the 800 to 2 million price range? How many of them? Look at the number and ask yourself, can I capture just 2% of that listing inventory? And if you can, you'll be a multimillionaire. But you have to do what I'm telling you consistently. So when I get these listings in Claremont, and if I don't have the time because my wife and daughters need me to hit the neighborhood, I could call the print company and they're going to fire it off for me. You have to be consistent. That's it. Speaking of print mail, marketing, ladies and gentlemen, it's really simple. Don't overthink it. Whatever it is you do, beat Miss Mission Viejo, that's top of mind awareness. They'll see it one time, they'll never forget you, okay? But when it comes to marketing, I just told you the story on Instagram. I leverage my short code there. Miss Redlands, I talked to her, she's like, yeah, I'm getting people hitting up my short code on Instagram. If you do not have a call to action and have some sort of way to elicit a response from the homeowner thinking of selling, you don't have anything. If you're doing an open house, and you don't have a reason to get their phone number, you don't have anything. So whatever you do, marketing-wise, if it's print mail, give them 3 options. Jeff, he will send you a QR code. My 3 most powerful options are this. Yeah, of course, there's Mr. Claremont. Everyone, open up this one I gave you. If you were at the last mastermind, I gave it to you. Now, go to, what is this? 1, 2, go to the 4th page. You see the Mr. Claremont one there? That page there? If they want to call me, they're going to call me there. Because it says for Claremont home and condominium town homeowners only, I provide an exclusive 20-minute, no obligation coaching consultation. That's my personal cell phone and my website and everything there. And if they want Mr. Claremont, there he is. He's going to provide that free coaching consultation. My phone's always ringing for that. But everything else, it's a trap. You've got to get a response. They text the short code, they hit the QR code, or they go to homevalueclaremont.com. All 3 lead to the same lead capture website, which is Cloud CMA. Name, phone number, address, phone number optional. You are in the business of locating the address of a homeowner thinking of selling in your city. That's it. The QR code, the short code, and the landing page, right? Just a straight up website, home value, your city name, right? Is key. Because if someone goes there and they want what? Any of these questions in the book, it hasn't changed in 30 years. All the top real estate coaches in the country, everyone, same stuff. If they want answers to any of these questions in this book, you know they're thinking of selling or refinancing. They're going to do something. So for any and all facets of marketing going into 2024, you need 2 things. To be perceived as the local expert, a name they can remember, easy to remember, find, and choose, right? Why do you think the notepads and magazines are good? It has a shelf life. They don't throw it away. They always hold on to the notepad, right? And when it comes to modern day real estate, if you don't have a plan to rank #1 for all 100 of those keywords, you just don't have an office. You're never going to be considered for the call. And if you try to play the game to outspend the big money in your city, because there's always some Tom, Dick, and Harry in this industry that sets aside 100 grand to dominate the Google pay for call or ads. I mean, you can still try it. Go ahead, do it, right? But the click-through rate, just remember, is literally, ask Google Bard, 13 times higher than the guys paying for those calls, okay? So you have the most powerful brand, the most powerful virtual agent-centric office, right? Then your tip of the spear has got to be something that's going to allow you to have at least 20 conversations a day about real estate as close to your city as possible. You start doing that, you capture the local market share. Mr. Chatsworth, for example, he's got a big email database, and I'm going to have a call with him, okay? Because, for example, you know, you can leverage the content, and I could provide this to you. It's a content provider, you know, that it's called Service for Life. But if his, imagine this, if, let's say I went to Farm Genie and bought, you know, 10,000 Claremont homeowner email contacts. If I sent them an email from Anthony with Remax or Mr. Claremont giving it a market update, they're going to unsubscribe quickly. But if the email was the Claremont Bulletin that was providing a fun, quick read with community updates and market updates, and Mr. Claremont happened to be the guy to give the real estate section, that's called indirect marketing. It's just a digital version of the magazine, because everyone thinks the Claremont Bulletin is from the city, right? So they hold on to it. It provides market updates, and it has a shelf life, and that's called indirect marketing, you see? And in the Claremont Bulletin e-newsletter, or the tangible one in person, right? They hold on to it. They see value. And if you approach it that way, and Mr. Claremont's the public figure just to answer questions if you have it, and if they hit anything in that e-newsletter or the magazine, QR code, hit the short code, the call to actions, right? And they're thinking of selling you got that address. Guess what, everyone? Guess what comes into play? You ready? The print products. 90% of this game, the money's in the follow-up now. Once you get the address of a homeowner thinking of selling, guess what? Go knock on their door, wear your swag. Hand them a home buyer seller guide. That's valuable. It costs $10. Say, hey, go knock on their door. What I'll do is I'll carry a stack of like 30 magazines in one hand, and I'll put it on here like this. And when I get that address of the homeowner thinking of selling, I'll make it appear I'm hitting the whole neighborhood when I'm just hitting his one house. And I'll say, hey, the Claremont Bulletin and the network notified me. You had some questions. You know, I'm Mr. Claremont. I'm one of the editors of the magazine. I just wanted to drop off this guide for you. Yeah, were you by chance thinking of selling? Why would you sell? Your home is beautiful. Oh, yeah, I just wanted, you know, the 44 home money making fix-up tips because I'm moving out of state. Oh, when are you moving? But it's a reason to hand them something, to go in person and develop the rapport and figure out what's going on. Do you see how powerful the print products are? Listing appointments, open houses, a reason to hand the listing lead something in person. Does anyone have any questions on that? Because we've gone over our hour, and I want to make sure you guys absorb as much of that as possible.
I have a question and then a comment. So the question is, based on some of the print materials regarding the bulletins, have you seen better results, or I mean, can you even quantify that between an 8 and a 12 page? Like, is it better to go with the longer, the bigger bulletins?
It all comes down to cost, you know. So if you, the difference between, let's say, because I do 10,000, right? I just blanket the city. When you do a higher quantity with the bulletin, let's say the 8-pager is $1,800, but to do a 16-pager, right? Let's say it's, $1,800. It's crazy to go from 8 to 16 pages. It'll be like $2,600. It's like only, like $800 or $900 more, and you can literally double the size of your magazine, right? But then there's a lot of editing and real estate that goes into that. So let's say you could double the magazine by 8 pages. Well, could you go to 8 of the most highly trafficked restaurants in Fresno and say, I'm going to get you a full page ad in the Fresno Bulletin? It gets mailed, and it's free. Okay. It gets mailed to X amount as the circulation. I hand it out at open houses. Can I leave some here at your front desk here? Right. Whatever. And then you coordinate with their designers. It'll be a project, but it'll be worth it, because if you could convince them to put an I Heart Mr. Fresno little campaign sign outside of their restaurant or inside of the restaurant, that's extremely powerful. Extremely powerful, right?
Hey, Anthony.
Yep.
Hey, sorry, I have a question before I go. I'm planning to do my bulletins about 5,000. What do you base the neighborhoods that you choose? You based on the amount of sales? You based on the amount of potential empty nesters? How do you pick, for example, 5,000 out of 50?
You're overthinking it. You take action. What you do is you go to the USPS EDDM mass mail, Google it, and what you're going to do is pick a geofarm. You're going to pick the price range in Tustin, the homes that go from 800 to 1.5 million. There might be 3,000 homes there. And you're going to highlight those routes, and you're going to print that out. And you're going to hit that geofarm over and over and over. And I know, Mr. Tustin, you're like, hey, I ordered 5,000. Well, great. You can mail to that 3,000, or shit, go hit all 5,000 on foot. I want you, before you walk out the door, do 50 push-ups and try to hand out 200 Tustin bulletins. I guarantee you, if you do that consistently 4 days a week, and you hand out 100 Tustin bulletins in that geofarm, 800 to 1.5 price range, you will have more business than you know what to do with. And then you're probably thinking, well, well, guess what? You could use the same magazine and hit them again and again and again, over and over and over. That's it. You don't overthink it. Because guess what? When you're door knocking as Mr. Tustin, it gets rid of that reflex no. And when I hand in, I'm like, hey, it's Mr. Tustin with with EXP. Just wanted to drop off a market update, hand it to them. Do you have any questions on real estate or the community while I was here? They know you're a realtor. You're clean cut. You're wearing a polo. You just said the word real estate. And they're like, oh. And then, actually, it gets the conversation rolling, right? They might say, well, actually, I've got a condo in Pasadena, or I got a duplex in, West Covina. I just picked up those 2 listings. And then the business bleeds all over, but you try to keep it hyper local. You see? But if you could do that, Mr. Tustin, I guarantee it. Why? I've been doing it I've been licensed for almost 16 years now. I've been doing it since I was 18 years old. But even before that, when I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 5 years, it's kind of crazy. Literally a 14-year-old. My father was in the business, and I didn't even have a business card, because he says it's against the law. Just go knock on their door and ask them if they're thinking of selling. I've been doing this for 20 years. 20 years I've been doing this, and nothing's changed. Every time I've consistently, for the last 20 years, it's crazy to say that, literally 14 years old, 15, I was out there grinding, and I love it. It's not a grind to me. It's my tan exercise. I clear my mind, and you have an iPhone. You could run your whole real estate business from here, right? I want to be in good shape for my family, and I know if I just hand out 150 of these 4 days a week, I'll have more listings in business than ever. But the key is consistency and not overthinking it and taking action and getting out there.
Want to let you know, me too. I just ordered through the company. Jeff sent me the information regarding the company to order. I'm doing the buyer seller guide right now through that short print company. And I ordered 50 just to do a quick short run to see what it was. And they gave me price quote. It came out to be $9.48 a piece. So for
Yeah, it's
$474, yeah, I'm getting, 50, and they're 48 pages long.
Well, compare that to latent printing because they're more of a wholesale. A short run printer is only if you want to do 5 or 10. Compare that quote to latent printing and say, hey, how much would you do this for? They might offer a better price.
Oh, they didn't way back when. I had already done that. They were way expensive, and they wouldn't do as little at that time.
See, latent printing is good for 2 things: the notepads and magazines.
Mhm.
You want the home buyer seller guide and that one, they're good there, right?
Yeah.
You guys, commercial printer like latent printing prints in quantities of 1,000.
Yeah.
Just don't even bother screwing around with things that you know are less than 100. They do deal in thousands. And so that's why, developing this relationship with this short run outfit, I think is a real winner for us. Because if you're going to do volume with the bulletin or notepads or whatever, that's fine. But if you want to do small volume, for the buyer seller guide, or even do small volume on the bulletin, small volume meaning, tens, 100, 50, whatever. You can't beat these guys, with latent printing.
No, and they were great. So literally in that short amount of time, I was able to go get on there, log in, find out what happened after you sent me the information on what the paper was on there, Jeff. And then I said, hey, I was contacting you because of the DLE network. They looked up your guys' order for me, and they said this is what they did. So when I sent it over, she processed everything. I was on the phone with her. It took us maybe 10 minutes, and they said they'll have them to me, which was insane, by December 7th. So
Yeah, well, and their prices are scaled depending on the delivery time. So if you want something cheap, let them deliver it 2 weeks from now. If you want something to be real expensive, say I want it in 2 days. And every day in between, it's a different price, just depending on the speed of it.
Yeah, I saw that. I was happy because that included the shipping was the $474. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
So with that,
All
all
right,
that being,
we've run kind of a long time there, Anthony. Unless you got something, we ought to respect our time commitments for these folks. We've already had several people drop off due to conflicts.
okay, guys, you know what to do. Message me on Google app. Okay, get it rolling. All right, we'll see you then.
Thank you, guys.